Welcome back to JCICT Zimbabwe Impact Podcast, where we spotlight real projects, real leaders, and real impact. Today, we're joined by someone who's doing incredible work on the ground, Isaac Muzenda, the Project Director for CHIDE. Isaac, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Phoebe.
Thank you so much for coming through. Do you care to explain to us what CHIDE means?
CHIDE is an acronym for Children's Home, Integrated Development and Empowerment.
All right. So it's such a powerful name, but I want to zoom in on one word, empowerment. Why was it important for you to focus on empowerment rather than just support?
The idea behind empowerment is to have a situation and a system where whoever we are assisting and helping can actually grow. It's not a matter of just simply bringing something to them, providing what they need, but to be able to have them independent, to be able to work for themselves, to produce what they need for themselves, and probably to be weaned from JCI as a project itself.
All right. Now let's talk about the children at Flowers of Hope. For someone listening who's never been there, what does their daily life actually look like?
Well, it depends on the age, because from what we have experienced so far, there are different age groups. There are the children who are still before going to school, there are those who are in kindergarten, there are those who are in primary, and those in high school. But then getting to an age where we end at 18 years of age, I think. So majority of the days depended on where they are, what they're supposed to be doing. Some are assisting in the home, others are at school, others are doing different aspects of their own lives as they are, part and parcel of the community as well.
All right. And what would you say is the most urgent problem CHIDE is trying to solve right now?
Currently, the biggest problem is trying to give them a platform where they can develop themselves. They're in need of finances, they're in need of enough funding for their, fees, for their upkeep, for their care, for sanitation. So majority of this is one of the biggest aspects that we're trying to do, to be able to create a system that allows them to have all of this and be able to work and to continue facilitating themselves as an orphanage.
So the project was officially launched on the 5th of March this year, but projects like this don't just appear overnight. So what was the moment of realization which made you think that we need something long-term here, not just a one-time donation?
I think the challenges they actually have been a contributing factor to this decision. We have a house that needs upgrading, that needs renovation. We've got a project of the chickens that also needs upscaling. We've got the need for boreholes. And all of these projects need sponsorship and funding, majority of which JCI on its own cannot manage to do on its own. So since we're banking on our supporters, our sponsors, our partners, we extended this so that we can also allow room for most of these projects to show hope, to be able to grow, to be able to develop, and by so doing, not fast track things. It's just not a matter of coming, dropping in things and then disappearing, but to nurture them and help them as they develop stage by stage.
And JCI serves to connect, these children and potential sponsors.
Exactly. So it's not just our own projects, but also the project of everyone who's also involved as we create links and connections and opportunities for them as well.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what would you say is the most urgent challenge CHIDE is trying to solve right now?
So for our current situation right now, we're trying to set up a system within which would support the Flowers of Hope financially and become independent, especially when it comes to the idea of their paying of school fees, the upkeep of the children. But by so doing, this is necessarily made possible the moment we allow these projects that we're trying to do right now for the chicken run, for the borehole, for the garden, so they can be able to be independently enough to take care of themselves without JCI.
All right. The idea of them being independent is quite a good initiative. So I understand that our projects like this, they don't just come overnight. What was the moment of realization which made you think we need something ongoing long term rather than a one-time donation?
Well, we noticed as well that when we try to put the gravity on the ground right now, to try and put this project as a one-off thing, it will be probably too fast to do so, because there are certain aspects that need to be taken care of. There is the upgrading of the house, there is the maintenance of the garden, there is the education and upgrading probably of the workers themselves, those who take care of the children. So looking at this project, it's something that actually has to expand in a very long time, especially considering that we are also depending on the donors, the sponsors, the partners that we need. And if we have that capacity to do so, and we have the challenges, capacities, and opportunities that we're trying to work towards, it actually allows us to extend it and try to put up a system that can actually be solid. We don't want to just come in, help, and then disappear soon afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So most projects are focused on one area, but Chide looks forward to bringing together poultry, water, horticulture, and sanitation. So how do these all connect to create a sustainable model?
Well, considering that I think this is one of the other ideas of Chile, it's integrated, and we're trying to make use of the United Nations strategic goals of, trying to put them into action. So majority of these have access to clean water, they have sanitary care, there is the empowerment aspect as well. So trying to make it a holistic project is trying to deal with issues at a point where we do not leave a certain aspect of their upkeep or their care neglected. If we come into a project, we come into a system, we come to a place, we try to make sure that at the end of the day, we can walk away satisfied without leaving them with more problems and the solutions we're trying to deal with.
Let's talk about water. It seems like everything is revolving around it. How will having a borehole completely change what Flowers of Hope is able to do?
Well, since this is an orphanage, firstly, water will come in trying to alleviate the sanitary problem, considering that they need excess water for upkeep, for bathing, for the toilets, and so on and so forth. So having water would actually allow their livelihood to be actually, upgraded. Secondly, they also have a garden, which is in two stands, basically. So having a borehole allows them to actually upscale their marketing and their gardening so that they can actually have more produce to actually sell. And by so doing, securing their financial status and allowing them to be independent to deal with taking care of the children, paying for the fees, supplying for food, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So, how do tomatoes and eggs eventually turn into something like school fees and stationery?
Well, I think this is one of the hardest questions, considering there's marketing involved. But we would like to have a situation where, as one of my very good friends was mentioning a bit earlier, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, you teach him how to fish, and they actually live longer.
Yeah.
So this is the situation we're trying to make. We don't want to come to a situation where we just provide them with the money they need, the food and stuff, but to be able to actually understand the capacity of working for things on their own. And I feel this is also an opportunity to teach the children that some things don't always come free. They need to work for it, to work towards it, and be able to sustain themselves as well.
Yeah, because nothing is for free in this
Nothing
world.
is for free, for sure. For sure.
Okay, and I also hear you're planning to do a 50 to 100 bed poultry unit. How does that scale things up?
Well, initially they were having road runners and rest recently started with layers. But this is not much considering the responsibilities they have. So having a project that's this big will actually give them more alternatives. The road runners are okay, but they take a very long time to grow, to produce.
Yeah.
So having broilers, having layers, this whole project allows them to actually do things a bit faster while the road runners are waiting to mature. So it allows them to actually have liquid money as much as possible, as early as possible, so that the project can actually take root and take flight.
Even for their daily expenses,
Even for
they'll be
their
able
daily
to
expenses,
cater for that.
yes.
So now something people often overlook is sanitation, right? So in a project focused on food and income, why is restoring toilets such an important part of this empowerment?
We would want to recognize the idea of dignity, to be able to have the right and the dignity to actually, help yourself, take care of yourself, without having to worry about this place where you're supposed to be. For example, right now, having, our own day-to-day situations at home, you need to be comfortable, even when visitors come, even if the number gets bigger. This allows, the girl child responsible, involved, even the male children as well, to have separate, sanitary facilities to be able to do it without worrying about the idea of how they look or feel. And having that sanitation available for them is actually an opportunity, probably as we were mentioning earlier, to recognize the idea of the UN SDGs, that issue of human dignity, to have sanitation that is worth making use of in a way that anyone can actually feel comfortable, be they them at home or the visitors who want to come, including those who are watching right now, can actually pay a visit.
Oh, okay. You had a site visit on 12 March and also on 12 April. What was the most eye-opening or emotional moment for you and your team?
Well, personally, I feel there's a lot of degradation that we tend to overlook. To be able to go to school and come back home, to find a place that you're supposed to feel comfortable with. And the work that they're doing is one that has a long-lasting impact. They need a space where the children can grow, the children can feel comfortable and safe, to be able to dream bigger in a space like that, to feel that this is home. So I think one of the highest points that opened my eyes is to the the place is there, but it has to feel like coming back home. And that feeling of being with others is not just supposed to be, personal, interpersonal relationships, but to be able to feel that I'm coming home and this is where I'm coming home to. Especially when you consider these orphans, they need something that can actually give them the feeling of belonging where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So you've also mentioned potential partnerships with big organizations, right? What's your message to corporates in Zimbabwe and why would they invest in Chile?
The corporates that we're looking for, the partnerships we're looking for, it's not necessarily an idea of asking for your money or, but to give them an opportunity also to have community impact, to give back to the communities within which they are part and parcel of. Majority of our, high-ranking people, the people who are now in business, the people in corporate, were also people who had a history. To be able to look back to these situations as you're growing up, the impact of your background, and looking at these children who are also in need of the support, it gives them an opportunity to actually make a difference, to touch a life, to shape a future for someone else, and having a chance to give opportunities to people actually in need of them, and being present as the future is being shaped as well.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing which stood out there on your project, you started with zero budget and everything so far has been volunteer driven. What does that say about the people behind this project and also about GCI City Zimbabwe?
When I joined JCI, I remember being told that this is not a money-making project, more or less. But we're taking people from different places, different experiences, a bit different backgrounds, and all of these are pitching in to make a difference. JCI and all the other sponsors and partners who have already taken root with us see potential, not only in JCI, but in the people that we're trying to help. And allowing their presence, their contributions to be part and parcel of this project is, I would want to say, giving back to humanity, making the human experience human, not only monetary, not only business related, not only advertising and marketing, but touching life and being there while this situation is being done. It gives us also, a heart to heart.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So what personally drives you to lead a project like this?
Well, community development is a very touchy subject for most people, but I feel it gives me an opportunity to be on the ground. There is a lot that happens behind the scenes when you just see paperwork, when you see graphs, you see numbers. But to be able to put a face to the people we're helping, to walk in their shoes, to be on the ground, to see what they're going through, I feel it gives us an opportunity, especially for me personally, to actually make an impact that has meaning, not only, dependent on numbers, on finances, on tabloids and, billboards, to be on the ground, to touch hands, to laugh, to share laughter, to share a joke with these children as they experience this whole project undergoing.
Okay, so it's better to be there, rather than seeing statistics.
Exactly. It allows you to be part and parcel of the project, not just hearing that we're now here, we're not doing this. Come in, sit on the sofas, talk to them, hold their hands, look into their eyes, and be present. This allows you probably to feel something different from just I'm giving.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what has this journey taught you about leadership?
Leadership in this particular case, especially with the project I'm dealing with, is not just basically an idea of concepts. Not, we have got so many books, on how to be a leader. You write books, you read books, and there are a lot of speakers on it. But then sometimes the best way is to be on the ground. To be with the people, to listen to the people. We come from our different backgrounds, and sometimes you come with your own ideas into a system that it might not work. But to be able to sit down with them, see what they're imagining, what they're envisioning, and to be able to have this particular idea that sometimes leadership isn't about letting the other people teach you, to be able to learn as you are teaching others.
Okay, yeah, that's a powerful perspective.
Thank you.
Okay. So this project runs until December 2027. When it's all said and done, what do you want these children to say has changed most in their lives?
I think the greatest impact is not necessarily what has changed, but how they look at life. Because if you look at the situation they're in, there's also a need for them to actually recognize that there are people actually there for them. Life is not as dark and gloomy, because they actually people actually look at them, see potential, and are willing to chip in, to help, and to assist. And if there's change that we need, probably is the quality of life that they actually can have after this project has been concluded.
Yeah, and knowing that there's someone out there who cares for you, it's really
Who actually went this
comforting.
far to actually do something for you.
Yeah, exactly. And for anyone listening wants to support, how can they get involved or contribute to the CHIDE project?
So I think the first thing is set foot on the ground. Go see the situation that these children are in, go and see their state of life. And then after you've noticed that you can actually help, get in touch with us as JCI, where there's always different ways, as Madam Pierre D is doing, to actually get in touch with us so that we can actually find a way to include you and to partner with you during this whole project.
All right. Yeah, and you also put in a number in our description box. All right. Before we let you go, I want to end things on a lighter note. Right. So when you're not working on CHIDE, how do you relax?
Movies and music, mostly. I love movies. It's always an opportunity to relax, to wind down. Horror movies, especially a lot
Horror
of this.
movies?
A lot.
Wow. Okay. So what's one song that motivates you or keeps you going on a tough day?
I'm a Jeff Fraser fan, so majority of Jeff Fraser songs, but then there is this one, Zvikomborero zvamakatipa. I think it's one of the deepest songs because it allows you to see the blessings that you have that other people don't have, which stops you from complaining too much and being able to be grateful and thankful for everything that you actually do have.
Yeah, and the moment you start being appreciative, you start receiving more.
Exactly.
All right. And if there's any one takeaway you want our listeners to live with today, what would it be?
There's room for impact. There's always an opportunity to help someone else. Yes, we might complain that your life is not always in order, but there's someone actually worse situation than you. And being able to be part and parcel of something bigger than yourself gives you an opportunity, firstly, to appreciate what you have, but also to be able to change someone's life by being present, being part of their situation, and to help them getting out of it if you can.
That's powerful.
Thank you.
And any message to anyone who's thinking about joining JCI City?
JCI is a gym. There's always something. There's equipment, there's opportunities. Come in. The world's talk about the summer body. JCI is not about summer bodies, but it's about, the bigger picture. There's always room. Come join us. Come be involved. There's change to be made. There's impact to be made. And this is the place to be. Willingly and fully.
Willingly and fully. So to all our prospective members, JCI is a gym and we're inviting you to our gym. Stay tuned. See you on our next episode.